Miles, if I could, I wanted to ask you about two of your wide receivers, Racey McMath and the big playability that he has. I know you two hooked up on a big play against A&M last year, and also John Trey Kirkland. Not only what he could possibly bring to the field, but it seems like he's such a likable guy. Team camaraderie. It seems like people gravitate to him, which is always good for team chemistry. Can you talk about those two guys for me?
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys work really hard. I mean, they've been in here. We came in the same class, and those are kind of my guys. Those are just the guys that were the receivers in the 2017 class, and they come to work every single day, giving it 100%. And about Racy, I mean, he's a big body. He's very physical, but he has speed, and so I think that's a testament to him. And John Trey, like you said, I mean, he's a very hardworking kid. He is very likable. He's very friendly, and he comes to work every day, and he's waiting for his opportunity to go out there and prove himself.
Hey, Miles. At least statistically, you're following the best there ever was in a season. What's that like?
I mean, it doesn't change anything for me. Joe came in here and he did his thing, and what he did was great. And it's my turn now to do my thing and write my own story. So, I learned a lot from Joe, and I took things that he did well, and I used them to better myself. But the past is the past, and I'm looking forward to being able to play this season and on Saturday.
Hey, Miles, Ron Higgins, Tiger Rag. You've waited a long time to get your shot to start, and here it is. Saturday, as you run out, how do you, I guess, put in perspective and stay calm and not get so hyped?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be another game. This is my fourth season here. I've run out into Tiger Stadium a good number of times. And just because I'm the starter, nothing's going to change. I'm still preparing like I would have prepared the past 3 years as if I was the starter. Now I'm going to be able to be that guy that runs out in the field first. But other than that, nothing's really going to change. My preparation and the way I'm going to go into the game. I'm going to be my calm, cool, collective self.
Hey, Miles, from lifting trees in Mississippi this offseason to getting back here, your family, you've had a long journey to get to this point. What are your parents, how are they feeling about this week there? Owen, have you talked to them, text them? What is the feeling among the family, your brothers, that they're going to see their brother and their son go play Tiger Stadium on Saturday?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, my parents and my brothers and my family, that's really been, my biggest support staff up until this point. They've sacrificed a lot, and I wouldn't be here without them, obviously. But they travel to every single game, home and away. And so they're always there supporting me. So, it's exciting for me to be able to give this back to them, because this is what they've been waiting for. And it's obviously what I've been waiting for as well. But, to be able to go out there and perform for them and make them feel proud is what I'm most looking forward to.
Hey, Miles, Brooks Keenan from The Advocate. You probably haven't taken many hits this offseason, but Ed Ogeron's talked about some of the sacks in preseason games. Who from the defense, we've talked about pass rush about them, and I'm just curious from your perspective, who have you seen that's done well from the defensive side as well as getting to the quarterback?
Yeah, I'd say the two biggest ones, or three really, would be BJ, Ali, and Trevez Moore. I mean, those guys they come to work every single day, and those are three very aggressive pass rushers that we have. And I think they're all going to see valuable playing time this season. They work really hard, they're coachable, and they enjoy getting after the quarterback. So I think they're looking forward to Saturday.
Hey, Miles, Jarrett Roser, Tiger Details. For, I guess, a team and a fan base fresh off the highest highs and now so much turnover and new faces, but obviously a ton of talent, what is the process like of kind of balancing huge expectations yet again, but also some patience for so many freshmen and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to take it a week at a time. You know, like you said, we have a bunch of fresh faces, a lot of guys that, as Coach likes to say, haven't been in the fire yet. And it's we're gonna have to learn and develop week by week. We have a lot of talent on offense, defense, and special teams. But we're relatively young in terms of experience. But that's not going to stop us. We're going to take it a day at a time, really, and we're going to take it a game at a time, and we're going to just learn and build each week. And so I think we're going to be just fine.
Back in your offense, skilled players to be on the same page timing wise with no spring and how funky the summer was. Kind of what was the last month like for you with Jamar kind of going out midway, finding that balance and getting everything you need in order to be the starter?
I mean, Jamar did his thing, and that we didn't really blink, with that. He made that decision for himself, but we still had to stay focused and get ready to play a game, coming this Saturday. As an offense and receiving core and running backs, the biggest thing that we really focused on was just getting our timing down, like you said, and whether that's before practice and every day since camp started after practice, we stay 15, 20, even sometimes 30 minutes and just go over routes that we maybe missed during practice or routes that they want to that we need to work on timing wise, or just talk through things. And so I think that's really been beneficial since we've lost spring, and this off season is a lot different than what it usually is.
Hey Miles, I got kind of a two-parter here for you. I mean, obviously Eric and Terrace, they get a lot of the kind of praise, I guess this whole off season. But maybe can you just tell us kind of who is a surprise player in the backfield or a receiver or a tight end that you feel like is really going to, explode this season? And then also just, with the running back being a huge part of the passing game, who are some running backs that you have really built that chemistry with in the backfield and getting, and used to the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, our whole receiver. I mean, I'll start with the receivers. I know our receiving core. It'd be hard just to pick one. But the one that it would be Kayshawn. Just because he's coming here as a freshman, and he's taken over, that starting spot, and he's come to work since day one. He never missed a Saturday morning throwing session or a film study session. He was always there, and obviously, that goes a long way. And I think all our receivers are going to be standouts, and they're all going to make big plays for us at different parts of the game. And then the running back room, I feel very confident where we are at right now. Obviously, with Chris and Ty and John, three very powerful running backs. They all do different things, but we're going to be able to use what they do in this offense, and they're going to be three very successful backs in our offense.
Hey Miles, Amos Morale from WWL Radio. Regarding, you kind of touched on Terrace a little bit, but just where have you seen him kind of make some strides? Obviously the expectation is that he's going to be the top guy. What about him kind of makes him such a big target for you?
Yeah, he's just always eager, to learn and to get better. He's made a bunch of plays in camp, but he's the first one, after practice coming and saying that, he needs X, Y, and Z routes to get, that he wants to work on. And he's fast, he's physical, and he's going to go up and he's going to catch the ball. And I think that's the most important thing is that he's going to use his body and take advantage of his size, and he's going to make sure he comes down with that ball.
Hey Miles, I guess now that you've had a month or so of camp, where do you think that offensive line is at? I guess what are some strengths of that offensive line, and also what are some things you guys are still kind of working on?
Yeah, our offensive line has had a tremendous camp. They picked up our new defense. When we were going against ourselves in camp, they picked that up really well. And now preparing for Mississippi State, Mississippi State does a lot of stunts and games on the line, and they've handled it really well. I feel very comfortable with those guys. They work really hard. Coach Craig gets them ready every single day, and they're ready. I don't think there are as many weaknesses with that group. You know, they're always ready to learn, and I'm excited to see how they do on Saturday.
Myles, if you had to guess, will it be tougher to replicate what Joe did physically or the intangibles with the leadership he brought to the team? And a second part, was there a moment during last year that you realized he really is going to win the Heisman and that could complicate following him or make it tougher?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not really worried about, you know, making sure I do what Joe did, you know, and making sure that I'm, you know, throwing as many touchdowns or breaking the records that he did. You know, I'm Myles Brennan, and, you know, I'm not worried about what he did, and I'm not going to be following in his footsteps, you know, because it's time for me to take my own path and write my own story, like I said. But obviously, you know, Joe, last year, the season he had was tremendous, and there's a countless number of plays, you know, that I could think of that maybe set his mark for the Heisman. And you know, I think his play took care of itself. And so he, you know, I don't think he was worried about the Heisman. You know, like I said, him going out there and performing on Saturday, I think the results took care of itself.
I'll put the last four on here. I don't know if Dennis is in there, but if not, we'll go Cobble.
Hey, what up, Myles? Michael Cobble at Channel 2 here in Baton Rouge. We talked in Atlanta, you know, about you having your shot, and so much has happened to you. You talked about the coaches that you've had kind of roll through here. Two questions. Was there ever any doubt that you would get to this point? And then secondly, we've all seen your arm strength. What are some of the personal strengths that you feel you bring to the field, and what have you really tried to button up now that you know it is going to be your turn?
Yeah, well, with the first one, no, I never had any doubt that I would get to where I am today. You know, that's why I'm still here. And when I came in as a freshman, my goal was to be the starter, and I worked every single day. And you know, I was denied that for the first 3 years, but you know, I was going to let adversity get in my way and stop me from achieving my dream. And so here I am today. And you know, like you said, I mean, I think I do have a strong arm, but you know, just the leadership and being able to extend plays on my feet and keep the guys upbeat. You know, I think that's really important at the quarterback position because everybody's looking at the quarterback to rely on. You know, and so obviously there's going to be bad things that happen throughout the game, but we need to have a one-play mindset, as I like to think about it. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know, we need to move on to the next play and be ready.
Hey Miles, Matt Trent, Channel 2 here in Baton Rouge. Coach O said yesterday that Joe got to the point where he had a lot of input in this offense and would go to coach and say, hey, I want to run this or I don't want to run that. And he said, right now you're kind of yes sir, no sir, and just doing your job. Do you think that at any point this season you'll get to that point where you feel confident enough to have input and a say on what you want to run versus what you don't want to run in this offense?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I meet with Coach Linehan, and you know, we go over the game plan and we talk about the passing game each week. And you know, it's funny. Coach Insminger called me Saturday night, and we were talking about you know things that we saw on film and things that I liked and what I didn't like, and I had some input on some new routes. And today we put those routes in. So you know, I think you know this is the start, and you know I'm excited to see where this offense can go.
Hey, Myles, when it comes to Mississippi State, obviously they've got a new coach and you guys have a lot of new personnel, but how much do you look at last year's game? You're standing there on the sideline watching. It seemed like last year, maybe early on, the red zone, there was some trouble scoring in the red zone against those guys. What did you take away from just watching that game last year and then playing them this year?
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State, you know, it seems like they're always going to give us their best game. And, you know, they're going to come out and they're a physical team and they're well coached. Obviously, they have a new head coach and a new defensive coordinator. So, you know, their defense coordinator's from San Diego State. So we've been watching a bunch of San Diego State film along with, you know, Mississippi State film to get personnel-wise. But, we're going to have to come out and we're going to have to play our best game, and that's going to be every week. But I feel like we're excited and we're ready to go.
Okay, if Dennis isn't in there, we'll let Miles go. Appreciate your time, Miles.
Alrighty.